Hello students, as we have started our measurement techniques, we have covered till now the measurement techniques for length, and now we will be covering measurement techniques of mass and time in this video. First of all, there are two types of masses: gravitational mass and inertial mass. That means for the same object, we know that one constant mass is there, but under what condition we are measuring that mass, depending upon that, the name is assigned. Let us take the difference between gravitational mass and inertial mass. When the object is only under the effect of gravity, that means any kind of translatory motion is absent or any other forces are absent. So we know that whenever any object is just lying on some surface, then only one force is acting on it, and that is gravitational force of earth. So in that case, whatever mass is measured using that gravitational force, that mass is called gravitational mass. So you can take this example. We know that weight is the gravitational force by earth on any object. So weight formula is mg, and weight is force also. So when we apply, when the object is in no motion, when the object is stationary, that time by using this formula W equal to mg or F equal to mg, m can be calculated, and m formula will become F by g. So this mass which is measured when the object was stationary using F and g value, this mass is called gravitational mass. And what about the inertial mass? So here the object has to move by any external force other than gravity. So when the object is in motion under the effect of any external force other than gravity, so suppose a car is moving on the road, so obviously it is having some acceleration in the horizontal direction. So that time F equal to ma force, F equal to ma formula we can apply. So using that external force due to which that object is moving and using that acceleration, so F by a, it gives also the value of the mass of the object. So now because the mass is measured under the condition of objects moving on the road, so that mass is called inertial mass. So idea is clear. Every object will always possess only one value of the mass, but that mass value, how we are obtaining, that decides the name of the mass. If we have measured the mass of the object in its stationary condition, then that mass is called gravitational mass. And if we have measured the mass of the object in its translatory motion condition, moving condition, then that mass is called the inertial mass. Now we will be having some apparatus for measurement of the mass. Let us proceed to these apparatus. Students, for the measurement of the mass, the first apparatus is physical balance. This is the diagram. Physical or beam balance is also its name. So you can see that there are, it's a kind of simple balance which are generally used in shops. There are two pan, left pan and right pan, and then using this beam which is horizontal, these pans can come in the hanging position, and here in the mid one pointer is attached which will be running on this scale. The scale's 0 is just in between. When the mass is kept here and here becomes same, that time the pointer shows 0. So we will be performing this experiment in the lab also. So what is the physical balance task? Physical balance purpose is to measure any unknown object's mass. That means the object is given to us and its mass we have to measure. So the procedure is the object to be weighed is placed in the left side pan and the standard weights are placed in the right pan. And these weights are adjusted till the beam becomes horizontal. So let us understand. Here in this pan, left side pan, we have to place one unknown object. Suppose we have kept an eraser, a rubber eraser, and its mass is suppose in few grams, and we have to measure that is it 3.2 gram or 4 gram or what. So along with this apparatus, we are provided a box of standard weights also on which the values are printed. So we start with any weight. Suppose we start with 10 gram and after that we see the pointer's deflection and we keep on removing or placing weights till the time this pointer doesn't come to 0. As soon as this pointer comes to 0 on this scale, that means this beam is horizontal exactly. That time the total weight this side is equal to total weight this side. And weight means gravitational forces. So what we can do, the force on one side and force on right side are same. Left side and right side forces are same. Suppose this side the mass we have assumed m dash which we have to measure. Mg formula we have applied for the force and this side all standard weights. Suppose we have kept 1 gram, 2 gram and 0.5 gram. So 1, 2 and 0.5, that means 3.5 gram is coming this side, total weight, total mass. And g is the gravitational acceleration. Now because both sides the earth is applying gravitational force, so gravitational acceleration is same for both, g is getting cancelled. This way m dash equal to m we are obtaining. M dash was what? Which was missing. And m is the mass of all standard weights which we have kept here. So this way we measure the weight of any, mass of any unknown object. So left side we have to keep the object whose mass we have to measure and right side we have to keep all standard weights one by one. And then we have to try that this side weight becomes this side object. That is achieved by seeing this pointer deflection. Okay. You must have heard the another apparatus name, that is spring balance. Generally we measure the cylinders, the domestic cylinders, by using this apparatus spring balance. Okay. In the spring balance there is one hanger. So here we have to attach the object whose mass we have to measure, and you can see this hanger is attached with a spring. So what happens, as we attach the object, the spring gets elongates, and due to that there is one pointer which runs on the scale. And already by using some known masses, we have seen the different elongations and pointer positions, and we have written already the mass values on this scale. So firstly, using known masses, this scale is calibrated, and after that for unknown object we see the pointer position and we measure the mass. So this is the working of the spring balance. Let us understand now the measurement of time. Students, for the time measurement, a clock is used. And what is a clock? That we are defining now in a new manner. Any phenomena which repeats itself after a fixed period of time is called a clock. Now this definition is new for you. Let us understand the meaning of this definition and the concept of measurement of time. We have to select any event which is repeating and it is always taking a fixed time to complete. So suppose we are taking the example of revolution of Earth around Sun. Students, since Earth revolves around the Sun in a fixed time 365 days and its revolution is repeating and repeating. So this process will helps us to make a clock and we will call it solar clock. How it will happen? We have to take a clock and in that we have to take a free hand and now we want to rotate this free hand. So what should happen? We should give some speed to this hand and when we have to start its movement, as soon as Earth starts its revolution around Sun from a particular location, that time we have to run this hand and it should be given some speed so that the time of its coming back and Earth's coming back to its position, original position, should be same. Now this will not be achieved in one time. That's why we want that event to be repeating. So after one trial or second trial or a number of trials, we will be successful in making this type of clock in which when the Earth starts its revolution around Sun from a fixed position, this hand will also be switched on or it will start moving. Then it will move, it will move, it will move, and Earth is also revolving around the Sun at the same time. And when the Earth will reach back to that original position, this pointer also should reach back to its original position. So this way you know, that means this hand is taking how much time to complete one round. So this hand is also taking 365 days to complete one round. So this way a clock is prepared which is measuring any event taking place in few days, like 100 days or 250 days or something like that. So now once this clock is prepared, suppose now any event's time we have to measure. So when the event will start, we will also start this hand. And after that, suppose this hand has reached at some position. So note, seeing the scale, now we will say that that event has taken place in this much time. So solar clock is the one which is prepared on the basis of revolution time of Earth around Sun, which is 365 days. The clock hand is given such a speed to rotate so that it completes one round in 365 days every time. This is like a hit and trial method in which adjusting the speed of the clock hand is important, and this solar clock is then used to measure the time of that events which take place usually in some days. In the same manner, we can prepare some clocks which are measuring time of seconds or which are measuring time of hours. So this is the concept of clock.